So yesterday we were looking at factors that affect volume of distribution, or specifically apparent volume of distribution, and we discussed how lipid water coefficient, ionization, degree of ionization, which is the pKa value, and plasma protein binding affect this volume of distribution. Now we'll look at two, three different more factors. First of all, there is fat to lean mass ratio, lean body mass ratio. Okay. This kind of ties into your lipid, lipophilicity, hydrophilicity theory, in the sense that if there is more lipid solubility, generally what happens is, let's suppose if I take a drug, if a person has higher amount of body fat, उनके अंदर VD ज्यादा रहता, because essentially speaking the drug is spreading around in the body much more easily. ठीक है, बॉडी फैट जितना ज्यादा है उतना ज्यादा स्प्रेड होता है और उतने ज्यादा अलग अलग एरियाज में जाके रिसाइड होता है, यू नो हैव द चांस ऑफ एंटरिंग अदर प्लेसेस इन द बॉडी compared to, let's suppose, someone who has very low body fat percentage. Okay, in them VD will also be low. If body fat percentage is high, VD is high. If body fat percentage is low, VD is low relatively if you compare two people. Okay, and specifically because the drug is getting sequestered in adipose tissue, because of which high VD is present. अगर lipid solubility lipid ही कम है, तो lipid solubility कम रहती lean person में. Meaning what will happen is the drug will not get sequestered. Sequestered meaning joining in a way. ठीक है? Combining with adipose tissue in this sense. So the drug will not have enough chance to get sequestered with adipose tissue, or it will not have enough adipose tissue to get sequestered with. That is why VD will be slightly lower, okay, compared to a person who has higher body fat percentage. Then we have, that is fat to body, lean body mass ratio. It's very simple if you understand lipophilicity. ठीक है, जितना ज्यादा लिपिड रहेगा उतना ज्यादा वीडी रहेगा, जितना ज्यादा लिपोफिलिक रहेगा उतना ज्यादा वीडी रहेगा. Then we have affinity to tissues. Okay, we have already kind of discussed this, but essentially speaking, any drug which has high affinity to drugs, it will have high volume of distribution. Okay, let's suppose I take a drug and it has high affinity to tissues. ठीक है, versus something that has low affinity to tissues. अब low tissue affinity का मतलब ये रहता है that drug will stay in blood. Okay, it is not entering tissue and it wants to stay inside blood. That is essentially the only alternative. अगर tissue के अंदर नहीं जा रहा तो blood के अंदर रहना. ठीक है, any tissue for that matter, adipose tissue ले लो या कोई भी tissue ले लो, if that drug has affinity towards different tissues, it will be able to leave the vascular compartment and go and attach to, the cells of your tissue. If it does not, then the drug will not have enough, VD. So high tissue affinity, high VD, low tissue affinity, low VD. Okay, essentially in distribution you want the drug to enter systemic circulation and enter into tissues from circulation. It should not remain inside blood. It will be useless if it remains inside blood. यहाँ पर high tissue affinity का मतलब ऐसा भी ले सकते हैं आप कि the ability of that drug to leave the blood compartment and enter into tissue compartment, considering we are taking these two as two different compartments, only two compartments. जब ठीक है, that is why certain drugs, like for example there is a drug called chloroquine, ठीक है, anti-malarial drug. This drug has a very, very high VD. It has a volume of distribution of 13,000 liters. Essentially speaking, no one has 13,000 liters in their body. It is just that it has so high tissue affinity. उसका apparent volume of distribution, उसका general volume of distribution बहुत high रहता. Apparent volume of distribution will be more realistic. ठीक है, it is able to spread around very, very quickly and very, very well in a sense. That is why its volume of distribution is very high, especially its affinity to liver tissue. Chloroquine goes and sticks to liver tissue with a lot of affinity compared to other tissues, but it has affinity to other tissues as well. It will leave blood compartment very, very readily. Okay. Then finally, we have the last factor that is affecting your volume of distribution. So till now we discussed fat, lean mass, affinity to tissues. जितना ज्यादा बॉडी फैट रहेगा उतना ज्यादा वॉल्यूम ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन रहेगा, जितना ज्यादा टिश्यू एफिनिटी रहेंगी उतना ज्यादा वॉल्यूम ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन रहेगा. Then we have pathological states. Now, pathological states, depending on what type of disease that person has, volume of distribution will change, especially if it is a disease in which fluid is being altered. Okay? Think of it in this way. If someone has congestive heart failure, or if someone has any condition where fluid is being retained inside the body, okay, because of whatever reason, edema hondo unko, या renal failure hondo, or overhydration hondo, jo bhi hondo, at that point what will happen is because of fluid retention, volume of distribution will fluctuate quite a lot. ठीक है, आपका volume of distribution बढ़ जाता है. Essentially what is happening is you have a lot more fluid. तो आपका drug को, now depending on the drug again, that it will alter the normal physiology. अब आपका एक normal person के अंदर 42 liters रहना चाहिए, ठीक है, average, let's suppose 42 liters रहना चाहिए. Because of fluid retention, this number is going up. Because of which what happens is the calculated amount of VD that you are expecting to get out of one drug, that will change. So generally speaking, pathological states, especially those states you have cardiac failure, congestive cardiac failure specifically. We'll discuss about congestive cardiac failure once we come in pathology. Uremia, या फिर let's suppose uremia is a condition in which urea will start getting accumulated in your blood. Then cirrhosis हो रहा, या edema हो रहा, ये renal failure हो रहा, because of which fluid retention हो रहा, या overhydration है, या dehydration है. ये पूरे conditions की वजह से आपका normal water level fluctuate होता है, या तो ऊपर जाता है या नीचे जाता है. That will affect VD. Okay, so that is another factor that will influence what is the volume of distribution in the patient. Now, if they have a combination of such diseases, again it will be a much more complicated situation. Because for the patients they will have several comorbidities, and let's suppose someone has diabetes. Along with diabetes, they are having renal failure, they are having retinopathy, they are having some other conditions that are affecting their fluid levels. That will be a problem. Okay. And especially let us if they are on drugs that will decrease, or the drugs that will alter blood fluid levels. For example, there is a type of antihypertensive called diuretics. Diuretics kya karte? They are decreasing blood pressure by decreasing blood volume. The blood volume kaisa kam karte? They will increase amount of urine being formed, and they will increase urination as such. They will increase diuresis. That is why they are called diuretics. Essentially, idea is behind that कि आप जितना fluid बाहर फेंकते जाएंगे, blood volume थोड़ा कम हुआ तो blood, this thing will also come down. Your blood pressure will slightly come down. They will not make you dehydrated, but your blood pressure will come down slightly. That is the idea behind it. अब ये comorbidities के साथ आप diuretics भी add करें या ऐसा कुछ और add करें तो again it will be a problem. It will fluctuate the VD quite a lot. So those are all the factors that are affecting volume of distribution. Now we'll move on to drug metabolism. If you have doubts, feel free to stop me and ask for doubts if you want me to repeat anything. Okay. Chalo. Now, drug metabolism is essentially, metabolism in general is a term in which what is happening is there is biotransformation occurring. So you are transforming, you're biologically transforming one form of drug or one form of a substance to another form. Okay, you are modifying the substance inside your living organism. Generally speaking, the most common site or the major site of metabolism in the human body for drugs. So the most common site of drug metabolism in your body will be liver. Almost 90 to 95% of drugs will get metabolized by your liver, major site of metabolism. There are some other sites as well. Your kidneys, lungs, intestines, and to a certain extent plasma as well. Some drugs will get metabolized in them, but minute amounts. Most of the drugs liver, about rest a big portion out of the rest. So out of the rest 10%, kidneys, Let's suppose this is around 5 to 7%. ठीक है. Then lungs में थोड़े होते हैं, about 2%. Again, these numbers are a little skewed, but you see, थोड़ा कम होते जाता है. The most rarest of drugs will get metabolized in plasma. Okay. Some drugs will also get metabolized in the person's intestines. Right. Metabolism is a step that is occurring after distribution. ठीक है. After distribution आप कैसा देखना है इसको? Distribution, see, liberation, absorption and distribution are a continuous process. Think of it like water flowing in a river. ठीक है. एक छोटे channel से आ रहा and it is reaching a bigger channel and it is entering a bigger, let's suppose a river, or it is entering into a tributary or whatever it is. ठीक है. It is flowing completely. ये प्रोसेस वैसा ही है. ड्रग का जो एलएडीएम जाता वैसा ही रहता. पहले लिबरेट होता, अब्सॉर्ब होता, distribute होता. And it is not that the whole drug is getting liberated, absorbed and distributed at the same time. A few particles are getting liberated, few out of those are getting absorbed, some of them are getting distributed. That will be your bioavailability. And once they enter distribution, they have to cross that organ which is metabolizing them. So for example, agar liver metabolize kar raha, let's suppose this is your liver and यहाँ से कोई एक blood vessel आप ले लो ऐसा. ठीक है. Example, there's no blood vessel running like this. I'm just showing it as an example. Let's suppose this blood vessel contains a concentration of drug which is about 50 mg per ml. मतलब हर एक ml of that blood contains 50 mg of the drug. अब यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा? Out of 50 mg, some of it will enter into liver. ठीक है. Some of it will enter into hepatocytes, and those that are entering hepatocytes, the drug components that are entering into hepatocytes, are undergoing metabolism. यहाँ पर अपन liver की example लिए. The same will happen in intestines. The same will happen in lungs. The same will happen in your plasma and kidneys. As soon as it is passing through the organ which is metabolizing it, metabolism will occur. And it is not that all the particles that are present in the blood will get metabolized at the same time. Few particles will keep on getting subsided and thode metabolized. Okay, they'll be pushed to excretion. So that is basically the idea behind metabolism. I'm not again going into details. If you find textbook also which are going into a lot of details of metabolism, you'll have quite a lot of details like phase 1 reaction, phase 2 reaction. You don't need to know everything about that. Because especially in pharmacology, you can go into a lot of detail in metabolism as well, in LADME itself. I'll give you one example. When I was being taught about this chapter, the first chapter of LADME, it took us 1 month to complete the whole chapter. So you can go into a lot of detail about this, but you do not need it at your level. You only need what is necessary for you. पूरा खा के आपको कुछ फायदा नहीं होने वाला है. Just take what is necessary for you and move on. Okay. Now coming to effects of metabolism. So most of the drugs, almost 85 to 90% of the drugs, what will happen is these drugs, they will be converted from an active form to inactive form after they undergo metabolism. Matlab, as soon as the drug inside the blood is reaching the site of metabolism, it will undergo metabolism and whatever comes out will be the metabolite. Okay? So let's suppose there is X drug into your blood. This drug got liberated, it got absorbed, it got distributed, and it reached site of metabolism. Let's suppose that site of metabolism is liver. अब ये X drug जो है is getting converted into a different form. Let's suppose it is getting converted into Y. And यहाँ पर most of the time what will happen is an active form meaning it has pharmacological effect, will get converted into an inactive form in most cases. Okay? For example, we have paracetamol. Paracetamol is a drug that gets metabolized in your liver and it gets converted into N-acetyl P-benzoquinonamide. So I'll just write it as NAP BQN. ठीक है, या BQI भी बोल के लिखते हैं उसको. उसका शॉर्ट फॉर्म जो है वो ड्रग का मेटाबोलाइट का NaBQI, ठीक है, एन एसिटाइल पी बेंजोक्विनोनिमाइन, पी स्टैंड्स फॉर पैरा, ठीक है। अब यहाँ पर ये जो कंपाउंड बन रहा NaBQI इज इनएक्टिव, इट डज नॉट हैव एनी फार्माकोलॉजिकल इफेक्ट। मतलब आपकी बॉडी क्या करती है, इनएक्टिव या यूजलेस थिंग्स के साथ, they will get eliminated. This fellow will get pushed towards excretion. Okay. So as I told you, some of the particles that are reaching liver or some of the particles that are essentially entering hepatocyte, they will undergo metabolism. It does not mean that अगर liver को pass कर रहा है तो जितने भी particles है आपके blood में वही एक instance में पूरे liver में चले आना. That does not happen. Okay. That is why I told you, in the blood, let's suppose the concentration is 50 mg per ml of drug. Once it is passing through liver, some of these particles will enter into your liver. Okay, let's suppose out of 50 mg, some 10 mg is entering into hepatocytes. 10 mg per ml, that much drug is entering into hepatocytes, and those particles of the drug are undergoing metabolism. Now, this is a continuous process. Matlab, this fellow now became 40. Eventually, what will happen is this fellow will increase again. Why will this increase? जो drug आप दिए थे, some of it got liberated, some of it got absorbed, and some of it entered distribution, which you are seeing here. The rest of the drug, as it is continuously getting distributed, and the rest of the drug that is continuously getting absorbed, that will come and fill in. So out of 40, again this will reach 50. And by the time it makes a whole circle around your body and comes to liver again a little bit of drug is lost, and you will have a decrease in this thing. That is how the cycle continues. This whole cycle will go on for a couple of hours till there is no significant amount or no therapeutic dose of drug left in your blood. That is when you will start seeing the effect of the drug. There might be some drug in your blood, but it is not showing any effect because it has not reached threshold limit. Then it needs to reach a baseline limit for it to show any effect. अगर वो baseline level नहीं reach हुआ, baseline concentration reach नहीं हुआ, तो it will not show any effect. ठीक है? That is how drugs will generally work. यहाँ पर एक बार metabolism होने के बाद it will go to excretion. अब sometimes what happens, I hope you understood this concept. यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा, एक form of drug is getting converted into another form of drug. Most of the time, the first form is active, the second form is inactive. This will be called your metabolite. Why is the metabolite here? Okay? Any product of metabolism will be metabolite. That is why I told you, paracetamol, once it undergoes metabolism, it will form inactive metabolite called NaBQI. Okay? NaBQI will get eliminated from your body. This is happening to most drugs. Now, in certain cases, what will happen is, I hope यहाँ तक समझ में आया. If you have doubts, please feel free to ask. Okay, and put in the chat as well. Some drugs, will happen is, one active form of the drug will get converted into another active form. Okay, let's suppose, or let me put it in this way: X is getting converted into X dash. Okay, meaning this fellow is an active form, this fellow is also active. Both of them show pharmacological effect. Both of them show the same pharmacological effect, and sometimes what happens is X dash will have a better pharmacological effect than X. ऐसा भी होता है, ठीक है? I'll repeat once again. Sometimes what happens is one active form of the drug is getting metabolized, and the product, the metabolite that is formed, will be active as well, and it will sometimes be more active than the original product. Okay? One example is allopurinol. Allopurinol is a drug that is given for gout. ठीक है, बहुत ज्यादा यूरिक एसिड अगर आपकी बॉडी में प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है, स्टोर हो रहा है, and it is not being excreted, that is when someone will be suffering from gout. I'll not get into the details of the disease because you have it later on, जब पढ़ेंगे. But essentially, allopurinol is a drug that is given for gout. Allopurinol, once it enters into your body and it undergoes metabolism, it will get converted into an active metabolite called alloxanthine. Okay. By the way, this metabolism process, the process of metabolism is facilitated by enzymes. Remember this. This is a very important step. Anywhere, wherever metabolism is occurring, liver में रहने दो, kidney में रहने दो, lung में रहने दो, जहाँ पर भी हो रहा, one form of the drug is getting converted into another form of the drug with the help of enzymes. Now, those enzymes will vary quite a lot. अलग-अलग enzymes की वजह से अलग-अलग drugs will get metabolized. but essentially enzymes play a very important role. You will understand in a bit why I'm emphasizing about enzymes on the next topic. Okay. This is one another instance. So this is the second instance when one drug in an active form is getting converted into another drug which is active as well. Okay, and a metabolite which is active as well. Example is allopurinol to alloxanthine. Now there are a few drugs called prodrugs. ये prodrugs क्या रहते हैं? When you give them, so pharmacologically, when you give a tablet to a patient, these drugs specifically, they will be inactive, meaning they will not have any pharmacological effect as well. Once they undergo metabolism, that is when they will become active. Okay? Essentially, they are getting activated inside your body. I'll repeat once again. In few cases, there are certain drugs that are given to patients which are called prodrugs. These prodrugs are inactive initially. When they enter your body, they'll be inactive in inactive form. Once they undergo metabolism, they will get converted into active form, and that active form will show its effect. That active form will have a pharmacological effect. One example is levodopa. Okay, dopamine substituent here. Levodopa essentially is an inactive product. If you give it in your body as such, nothing will happen. Once it is entering metabolism, once it is undergoing metabolism, it will get converted into dopamine. Dopamine has several effects. Okay? Especially as a neurotransmitter, it has several effects. So, आप levodopa देते, levodopa is getting converted into dopamine, and dopamine is showing its effects. Okay? This reaction generally does not occur in your liver. This will occur near your brain. When we discuss about Parkinson's disease, I'll tell you about this, what is happening, and the treatment of Parkinson's disease. जब समझा तो कैसा levodopa is getting converted into dopamine, what is happening to dopamine. But for now, just remember that in this scenario, levodopa is inactive, this fellow is active, meaning this fellow will have a pharmacological effect. And levodopa is called a prodrug. It is coming before the original drug. That is why it is called a prodrug. Okay? Prodrugs are drugs that are inactive in nature and get activated once they are getting metabolized in the person's body, in the patient's body. Right? Now, metabolic reactions as such are of two types. Okay, I'm only giving you a brief introduction of them. You don't need to go into detail. In textbooks also, you'll have a lot of detail about this. You don't need to, just for your idea, I'm telling you. Okay, metabolism can be divided into two types. Metabolic reactions that are occurring to the drug. Okay, one is phase 1 reactions. ठीक है, इन लोगों को नॉन सिंथेटिक रिएक्शंस भी बोलते हैं. You're not synthesizing anything new, you're just changing the form of the drug. ठीक है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल ऑक्सीडेशन. फेनिटॉइन बोल के एक ड्रग रहता जो एंजाइटी में देते या इसमें भी देते, क्या बोलते हैं, एपिलेप्सी में देते फेनिटॉइन. That drug undergoes oxidation in your body. So it is not essentially changing, it is not getting converted into a new form altogether. It is only undergoing oxidation. Okay? So those are non-synthetic reactions. Yeah, phase 1 reactions. Then another one will be phase 2. phase 2 reaction भी बोलते हैं इसको, या फिर इसको synthetic reaction भी बोलते हैं. यहाँ पर there is synthesis occurring. Synthetic. ठीक है, सिंथेटिक रिएक्शन से लोगों को इसलिए बोलते हैं क्योंकि फॉर एग्जांपल वी हैव मिथाइलेशन या साइक्लाइजेशन. ठीक है, मिथाइलेशन वन कॉमन एग्जांपल. मिथाइलेशन में क्या हो रहा है, आप एक मिथाइल ग्रुप ऐड कर रहे हैं एंड यू आर मेकिंग समथिंग न्यू. ठीक है, यू आर कंप्लीटली चेंजिंग द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द ओरिजिनल ड्रग एंड यू आर मेकिंग अ न्यू ड्रग ऑल टुगेदर. ठीक है, ऑक्सीडेशन में यू कैन जस्ट सिंपली रिमूव इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एंड यू नो दैट विल बी ऑक्सीडेशन. बट आपके इसमें फेज 2 में क्या बोलते हैं आप, यू आर मेकिंग अ कंप्लीटली न्यू प्रोडक्ट ऑल टुगेदर. वन एग्जांपल इज ड्रग कॉल्ड प्रोग्वानिल. इट्स एन एंटी मलेरियल ड्रग. Proguanil is a drug that will undergo phase 2 reactions. Now, why are these phase 1 and phase 2 reactions important? Sometimes what happens is certain drugs in certain scenarios, that drug will enter into your body. That drug will get liberated, it will get absorbed, distributed. It will not undergo metabolism at all. It will directly get excreted. Okay? I repeat once again, in certain scenarios, Some drugs, what will happen is they will enter into your body, they will get they will undergo they will undergo absorption, they will undergo distribution, but they will not undergo metabolism. They will remain as is. They will not get transformed into any other form, and they will get excreted as is. This is in some cases. Sometimes certain drugs will only undergo phase one reactions. Okay. While sometimes the drug may undergo phase one reaction, and the product of phase one reaction, let's suppose X is undergoing phase one reaction, okay, and it is forming Y. Y is undergoing phase two reaction. ऐसा भी होता है. And it is forming, let's suppose Z. ठीक है. And it might be vice versa as well sometimes. कभी कभी क्या होता है, X will directly enter phase two reaction. ऐसा भी हो सकता है. And it might form Z. So there are a lot of combinations. Again, I'm not going into a lot of detail what is happening. This is just a basic overview of phase one and phase two reactions. Types of biotransformations बोलते हैं. ठीक है. Essentially, there are types of metabolism. What is happening in metabolism? How one form is getting converted into another form. There are two main methods through which one form is getting converted into another. One is non-synthetic or phase one reaction. The other is synthetic or phase two reaction. Okay. One drug might not get, some drugs might not get metabolized altogether and they might get excreted as is. Some drugs may only undergo phase one. Some drugs may undergo phase one, then that product of phase one might undergo phase two. Or sometimes some drugs may undergo only phase two reactions. Because you have various combinations of this. But those are essentially phase one and phase two reactions. Then we come to some effects of enzymes. Okay. Specifically, enzyme induction and enzyme inhibition. Okay. Now, what is enzyme induction? Last year, I think when we were discussing biochemistry, we discussed what is enzyme induction, but we discussed it in a different form. We'll discuss it from the perspective of drugs this time. Enzyme induction is a process in which you are inducing the formation of a drug. So, inducing the formation of an enzyme. इसका मतलब क्या है? आप एक ड्रग दे रहे. Let's suppose that drug is, let's suppose this is the drug. ठीक है? That fellow is going inside your body and it is triggering the synthesis of a particular enzyme, or it is increasing the concentration of this enzyme. That phenomena where the drug is causing increased synthesis or it is inducing the synthesis of an enzyme, that is called enzyme induction. Sometimes what happens is this enzyme which is getting increased, that itself will call the metabolism of this drug. I'll repeat once again. Enzyme induction is the process in which one drug, whatever drug it might be, let's suppose it is an X drug. That X drug is causing increased synthesis or increased release of some enzyme. Let's suppose that enzyme is E1. Sometimes what happens is, not always, but sometimes this enzyme E1, that fellow might act as a metabolizer for this X. इसका मतलब क्या होता? ये E की वजह से जैसा E का level increase हो रहा, the rate of metabolism of X will also increase, because that enzyme is essentially a metabolizer for X, and the conversion of X to Y will speed up. This process is called autoinduction. ठीक है? I repeat once again. X यहाँ पर एक drug है. If X is increasing the enzyme level, any enzyme for that matter, increasing the level or increasing the synthesis of that enzyme, that phenomena will be called enzyme induction. Sometimes what happens is that particular enzyme might be the metabolizer or might be the enzyme that will trigger the metabolism of that original drug X. So यहाँ पर क्या होता? X is influencing the level of E, wherein it is increasing level of E, because of which in turn X gets affected. Okay, जैसा E का level बढ़ते जा रहा, X is rapidly getting converted into Y. That process where it is caused, where the drug is causing its own metabolism, or it is increasing the rate of its own metabolism, is called autoinduction. Okay. Now we'll discuss about how enzyme induction can be advantageous and disadvantageous in the next class, how you can play around with it. I hope you understood till here what is metabolism and what is enzyme induction, what are phase one and phase two, this thing, yeah, biotransformation.